yoursensationalsmile.com.
Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand Building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065.
Dr. Candace Colella of Colella Cosmetic Dentistry in Coconut Creek provides family and cosmetic dentistry for patients of all ages and is the only dentist in South Florida offering Solea laser dentistry. No pain, no anesthesia, no shots. With over 23 years of experience, Dr. Colella does fast braces, dental implants, veneers, and more. She can even finish off your smile with Botox, fillers, and lip augmentation. Call 954-428-6923 or visit yoursensationalsmile.com.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's the Becky and Boca Show, coming to you live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. from glamorous downtown Boca Raton. I'll show you how to live life in style in one of the country's most elegant cities, nestled right along the beautiful Atlantic beaches between Palm Beach and Miami. So sit back, relax, and let me show you how to indulge yourself Boca style. Hello, welcome to the Becky and Boca Show. I'm very excited tonight because I have Rhonda Nelson here and Wayne Nelson. And Wayne Nelson is the lead singer of Little River Band, and Rhonda is his wife, and she's an author of this amazing book called A Different Life, and it's about life on the road with a rock band.
It is.
We're going to hear all about that, but right now, we're going to have Wayne play us a little bit of his
I gotta
iconic
go first
music.
on live.
You got to go first,
live,
Wayne.
whatever this is. All right. So, little explanation. A lot of times we'll go out and do mini concerts, if you will. She talks about the book. We tell stories on each other, and we play the songs acoustically. So, one of them was on the first anniversary of doing the book. So I changed the words for one of our hits, which
okay.
you already know. So,
all right.
I'm so proud of you, baby, and for the journey you just took. I see it in your eyes, Lord, there's no surprise. You got a great new book. Now when we look back, baby, when we look back to what we've had, we'll celebrate the good times now and forget about the bad. So I wish you happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind. Happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind. Becky's favorite. So lady,
My favorite.
let me take a look at you now. You're there on the dance floor, making me want you somehow. So lady, I think it's only fair I should say to you, don't be thinking that I don't want you. Maybe I do. Time for a cool change. I know that it's time for a cool change. Now that my life is so prearranged, I know that it's time for a cool change. Well, I've never been romantic, and some reasons I don't care. I know it may sound selfish, but let me breathe the air.
Oh my gosh.
We needed our
Amazing.
We needed our Zippo lighters.
You needed your lighters, yeah.
Or our
Oh, that was
Zippo app.
fantastic. Your voice is iconic. Everything comes rushing back to me when I hear those songs.
It does that, doesn't it?
It really does.
The memories come alive.
Yes. I remember where I was, who I was with. It's amazing.
That's what's so awesome about being at the shows.
Well, you get to meet all these people when you're out there.
And they
attach a memory to these songs.
Every song. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's both.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool to hear the stories.
And that's why you wrote this book.
It is.
A Different Life, because you have been touring with your husband for, the past couple of years, right?
Past couple of years, I've stayed out on the road pretty much the whole time.
And it's 90 shows a year?
Somewhere around that number, yeah. It's
There are a few choice ones that she knows not to go to because they're not all.
Well,
they're
it's
not
either
all,
cold or in the middle of nowhere.
Well, wait, you guys sent me a picture by text a few weeks ago of a cornfield outside. Where were you, Nebraska?
Yeah, well, that
cornfield covered.
I was home.
Were you there?
I was here in Boca.
Yeah, we didn't send that picture. I sent that picture. That's exactly what I'm talking
wondering
about.
what you could possibly be doing there.
No.
We were in Larchwood, Iowa, which is the corner of Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota. And
I think I've been there. Unfortunately,
you can't tell which state's which because it's all flat.
Yeah,
it's all
it looked
corn.
like all one big white field.
That's what it was.
And I'm sure it's a really lovely place, but I had a lot to do here.
Go there in the summer.
Exactly.
And the buffet food is unidentifiable, so it's you don't know what you're eating.
But we love Larchwood.
We love Larchwood.
Yeah.
We love the people of Larchwood.
There you go. Yes.
Okay, so now do you usually travel by bus? I know you have a big tour bus.
We do.
Okay.
I don't know. It's. I wouldn't say it's half and half. We try to go by bus.
But you didn't go by bus to that one.
We did.
You did?
No, yeah, that one we did. Well, actually,
wow.
The highway departments are cracking down on how long drivers can go. So this really is this is the first year that they've put electronic logs in the buses. So that
how do they know?
It's all GPS now, so they know every inch that driver drives. So
they know every time that bus is turned on.
Every time it starts and moves, they log it. So we had to fly to the bus, drive up to the lovely downtown Larchwood, and then go back to Kansas City and fly back from there. So it's changed a lot of how we travel this year.
You can't go a certain distance in the bus?
The drivers are only allowed to go 10 hours max.
At one consecutively.
I can drive more than that.
and so can they.
Yeah.
They can go 12, 13 hours. It's standard stuff. But I have to say, for safety's sake, it makes sense, and we're going to comply at every turn. But it has really put a crimp on how we do what we do, because the bus driver can no longer drop the band and then take the crew to the gig and go to the Walmart to do what we got to do and buy the thing. We get in the bus, we got to go, and we got to shut it off. It's kind of coming down to that.
It's become a little bit of a chess game. And then there are certain gigs that we fly to just because it's impossible, to get there by bus.
On time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know when I saw you in Clearwater, you were going to be in Tallahassee the next night, right?
Jacksonville.
But that was an easy one. That was 5 hours.
Yeah.
So you took the bus right up.
Piece of cake,
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So our bus is all the other band members, crew, driver, all live in Nashville. So we're the only ones that.
You're the ones that have to be. Okay.
We're the ones that bounce around a little bit more.
All right, but before we go any further, I want you guys to tell us about your love story, because I was reading about it in this book and how you met and how you became a rock and roll wife, and then how you decided to go on the road. All interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, so. Back in...
There are two versions, by the way.
I saw there was a his and hers version.
There's a his and hers version, yes. You can go first.
Let's hear yours first.
They're really not that different. maybe a little bit of it is different, but it was an industry night in Nashville, and it was... And
you lived in Nashville?
At the time, I did. And he lived in San Diego at the time, but was had been, as always, touring with LRB. And it was an industry night. And which means there are a lot of boring people at the concert. And so
Industry meaning
music industry executives,
executives, okay.
coming to, record label execs, that type of thing.
Okay.
And so and this was in October of '99, and myself and a few other girlfriends went to the show, and the ticket was a whopping $8. Go ticket sales.
Larchwood, here we come. Poor Larchwood's getting laid on that.
I know, right? You'll never go back there again.
Yeah, they're not going to bring you
Yeah,
back.
right?
They love this.
But so being that I grew up in Nashville, and I had a lot of friends in the business, and I knew quite a few people in the VIP area.
But how did you decide to go to this particular concert?
Well, I've always listened to Little River Band. I mean,
Okay.
My father had a car dealership, and for the cars that had either the 8-track players or the cassette players, there was a compilation 8-track or cassette that came with the car.
Yeah.
Woohoo, your free gift. And it was always,
They
there
were
was
on it?
the Little River Band was.
I don't know
You
this
don't
story.
remember that?
I know one of his favorite songs, but I didn't know the 8-track story. That's
Wow.
amazing.
That is amazing.
Great.
Wow, a story you
That's
didn't know
amazing.
after
No,
20
that's
years.
amazing.
That's kind of
Wow.
fate, don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Wow.
So, and of course, I had the records too. And then, you spend time at a skating rink, and everybody skates the songs and the whole 9 yards. So,
Your music was everywhere
Yeah.
for a long time, and it still is.
From
That's the amazing
skating
part.
rinks to used cars with 8-tracks. We got around in Tennessee.
Yeah, you were everywhere.
I'm telling you, it's the glamorous life. No, but the other thing too was back then, Little River Band, with the harmonies and the vocals, especially in Nashville, where it is such a music town. They got played a lot, and so anyway, fast forward to '99. That concert was probably, I think, the third one of LRB's in Nashville that I had seen.
Oh, okay.
So
You didn't
anyway,
meet her at the other two, huh?
She was with somebody else.
so yes, I was.
Oh. Well, look what happened to him.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Who won that one?
So anyway, $8 ticket, didn't like where I was going to sit, so my girlfriends and I decided to go where
Make your way to the front.
Make our way to the front, where I
young,
knew a lot of
attractive women can
That's right. Where I knew a lot of people. And so we did. And little by little, as we are standing up, moving to the songs and singing loudly, guys came, girls came. And finally security just went, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
we're just going to we're going to let them up there. And so lo and behold, one of my girlfriends had met the person that was responsible for booking the band into that venue, and he invited us backstage. And we went, and I really didn't think anything of it. It's not my thing. I've never been that kind of person to be interested in that type of thing. Going backstage, I didn't care. But so we're back there, and I'm kind of like, okay, what now? And
you weren't even drinking that night, I read.
No, I was designated driver, so I
cold
was
sober.
I was pretty bored. But there were some media people back there, and we did that I knew, and that my girlfriends knew. So, but these guys did finally come back, and he and I started talking, and I at the time was and still am, just different ones, involved in a lot of charity work. He likewise, and we found some common ground there, and the rest is history, so they say.
Okay,
So
I want to hear your version.
Well, my version has a little bit more animation to it. So up come the four attractive Nashville girls.
Okay.
And at the time, I was standing in the back. I was the bass player in the back row. We had a lead singer.
Okay.
6 people in the band, and he was up front. So I was able to watch what was happening a lot more than the guys up front, because they're right there. They're in charge of kind of engaging the crowd. I'm playing bass going, oh, well, they look good. And these people are really boring, so at least there's somebody up front, you know. And I just saw the whole thing turn into a party. And being the veteran on the stage, watching an industry night turn into a party was an amazing thing.
Right?
And at one point, she had been slapping on the stage and looking at people going, what are you doing? Get up here. Come on, let's do this. And so it was really kind of not single-handedly, but that group of ladies
people got
turned
the concert around.
So we got done. We came up front. We bowed, and I just looked at her and I said, "Thank you." I didn't think I'd ever see her again, but thank you for what you did, because it was amazing. We go back, and now the part that is the romantic part, if you will, from my standpoint, was we went into this room with all these industry people expecting the same BS that we hear from all industry people. And we walk in, and there she is. Now, I thought she was either crazy or drunk or both, and she's sitting in she's sitting,
She hadn't had a drop to drink.
no, she's
Exactly.
sitting in a lounge chair, easy chair, with a bottle of water, and I'm like, whoa. And but there she was. So now I got a guy in my ear going, "We're going to take Cool Change. We're going to make it the theme song for IBM. We're going to do it worldwide. You're going to make $1 billion." And I'm going, "That's great. Where is she?
Where is she?
And finally, I made my way over there. So we talked, and it was really about nonprofit, and the part about giving back in the book really was at the heart of our chemistry, if you will, and common ground. But at the end, it was kind of like, okay, all the industry people are gone, and she says, "Well, I'm here, and don't have anything for you to sign, but how about you sign my jeans?"
Yeah, I saw a picture of that in the
I
So
might as well get an autograph,
Might as well
right?
get-
right down the back side there, right?
Well,
On the front side, the back
I
side.
took some real estate right here on the front right thigh, and after the name, I made sure that she knew where the next 3 tour dates were. Just in
You
case.
didn't put your phone number on there?
I did
Come
not.
on, Wayne.
I did not.
We
But we
exchanged emails.
We knew email addresses.
Emails.
So.
All right.
Yeah, back then it was web TV. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not joking. My email was on web TV.
Champagne style at Web TV.
That's right.
Champagne style at Web TV?
That was it.
It's not there anymore. Don't try to use it. So anyway,
Okay, yeah, so you
she
signed the jeans.
the next day she went boom, boom, boom. Well, New Orleans on a Sunday. What would that be okay if I came to see another show in New Orleans? And I'm going to absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Tell me what time
This
you're
is all
coming
going
in.
through
We'll-
email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was it. We saw each other again in New Orleans, and it was an afternoon show. We went to dinner downtown. I lost her rental car because I was a little.
Yeah, you said you
little
lost the
befuddled.
rental car in the book, but
She got the rental at the airport and came to the show, and because we got there late and whatever, and so we went downtown and parked the car in New Orleans, and I was a little distracted. So we're walking, and suddenly I realized I've got no idea where I parked that car.
We're like roaming the streets of New Orleans looking for my rental car.
not a great spot where the car was
not
either.
really.
But we found it. We got back a little panicked, but we made it happen, and we didn't see each other for about a month, and her birthday was
wow.
coming up.
Yeah.
We got together for her birthday.
and during that time, were you both starting to really feel that this was going somewhere? Did
yeah.
you know this was your future wife? Sometimes men know that.
No, I
No.
knew this was somebody that I really liked being around, and so on and so forth. But the future wife comes around about 8 months later, because when we were apart for so long, when I got back after making the first record that we made in the quote unquote the new era of LRB's new music, I came back. I had been in Australia for 4 or 5 months. Came back, and we grew very fond of each other really quickly. But I didn't want her to marry into the music business because I got a feeling for who she was, and the circus, it didn't feel like a good fit. We did, but not her being part of somebody being gone all the time. And she had been around other people in the business. I'm like, we had a come to Jesus day, and I went, I don't think this is right. We should not get married and do this. And then she went away for 2 weeks with her mom, and I went nuts.
Yeah, all that talk went out the window after
that
that,
went out the
right?
window, and then I proposed to her the next night when she got back. So that was that.
Yep.
Oh, and look at you now, 20 years, right?
18.
19 together, married 20 years, yeah.
See, it worked out, Wayne. She likes the business, I guess.
There's no question about that.
So you got married within what, like a
1
year of meeting each
almost,
other, right? Wow, this
Almost
is
to the
romantic.
day.
Almost to the day.
Really?
We met on October 13th of
But
99.
no, I think you told me that there was a big space of time in there where you didn't see each
Yeah,
other.
so we met in October 13th of 99. Mm-hmm. Saw him for a couple of days in November, a couple of days in January. Then he was gone for almost 5 months.
5 months. So you went a 5-month stretch in
Yep.
that year without seeing him?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And then he was back in the States in May of
We
2000.
kept using emails.
Just emailing
Yeah.
back and
Well,
forth. the whole
I
But,
was in
you know,
Australia.
here's-
You didn't call. You didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
You
You
didn't call then.
Yeah.
It
Back
was very,
then, it was very
you could, but it was very difficult and very expensive.
And the time changes.
Right.
But so when he came back in May, until we married in October, our courtship was spent on the road. He was touring.
Yeah.
Straight from when he came back in May until we married in October. So
And by the way, she was running a business with her mother because when her stepdad died, they inherited some rental properties. So these two were managing 180 rental
Oh, my
units,
goodness.
weekly rentals.
Ooh.
So I mean,
Wow.
it was brutal. I mean, from laundry to painting to carpet changing to evicting to people passing away in one of the apartments. I mean, it was two
was
women
interesting.
running the show. So there
Wow.
was a lot of time when, jumping on a plane wasn't
make
going to work.
yeah,
So yeah,
but it was just one of those things. We had both been married before. We'd both been in other relationships, and when
You just know.
you know, and come hell or high water,
It's going to work.
it's gonna work.
It's going to happen.
It's
Yeah.
going to happen. And I honestly think that the way our courtship was and the way we started out has been part of our success because we knew
You knew going into it.
We knew going
Yeah.
into it. And we also knew every time we were together that one of us would be leaving. Either he was going to leave to go back on the road or I was going to leave to go home if I were out on the road. And we had to fix whatever might have come up if there was an issue or something that needed to be dealt with. We had to fix that. You don't leave without things being fixed.
Well, what do you mean things being fixed?
Well, if there was whatever, as you're getting to know people and one another, or if you've had a disagreement about something,
Yeah.
you make sure that it's all cleared up. That
Before you
air
leave.
is cleared.
Yeah, you don't
before-
want to be
Exactly.
away from each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it actually helped the
so
relationship.
I think it is one of the reasons why we're as strong as we are today,
Mm-hmm.
because we were forced from the very beginning to pay attention, and we also learned from our mistakes from our past. I mean,
Right.
obviously,
And probably the time you had together was more quality time than it would
Absolutely.
be if
absolutely, yeah. So
you realize it's
yeah. But the interesting part about it is the part of the relationship that we didn't know much about was what it was like to be at home together.
Yeah, I guess you didn't.
We
you?
didn't. We always
You got
spent
married
time.
without knowing that.
Absolutely. We'd never. As a matter of fact, I had never been to his house in San Diego until after we were married, and we're getting ready to move him to Nashville because
Wow.
he was touring.
Yeah.
So we had no idea what it meant to be
Living
in
together.
our house, living together, being off, cooking dinner together, whatever you're doing. We had no idea what that was like until after we were married. So it's that just really like
That's some interesting
kind
stuff.
of yeah.
I hadn't even
I'm
thought
pretty
about
sure
it.
every marriage counselor out there would say, "Oh my God, you two are nuts! What the hell were you thinking?" But for us, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
and I really do believe it is the cornerstone of what has kept us so strong all these years.
that first year of not
Yeah.
being together. And,
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a story.
Yeah.
And so where did you get married? I know it's in the book.
We got married in Nashville. Again, we don't do anything conventionally. So it's a property that resembles a French chateau, has a little lake behind it. This one particular family has owned it for years and years and years. They have events there and whatnot. We got married there, and true to form, we had a whole lot of music in our
I
wedding.
bet that was some wedding.
Whole lot of music.
It was
And-
basically everybody that was there said basically it was a small concert with the vows thrown in.
About
halfway
2
through.
seconds of vows. I do.
That
I love you. I
sounds
love you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a great day. It was we were surrounded by family and friends, and there you go.
And did you have to go right back on the road after that? Or did you get to do a honeymoon?
No, we got
No.
to do a honeymoon. We
Well,
actually
because we don't do anything conventionally, we didn't leave. We didn't go on our honeymoon immediately because I had sold my home in Nashville, and we bought a home together, and so
And where was that one?
in Nashville, but it was
okay.
just a different home. So
That's
we
right.
had.
You went to Australia with your mom
Yeah,
right after we were married.
I went to Australia with my mom.
Were you going to Australia, or did you?
No, I went back to San
went back to
Diego with
San
your
Diego.
mom.
Wait a minute, you do go to Australia because that's where your band is from.
Oddly enough,
Yes.
I didn't go
But
then. Though.
she was going to Australia.
That
another
that,
reason.
That
and
trip had already been planned with my mom way
don't you
before
find
even.
that odd though?
Yeah, I'm telling
It's
you,
fate, yeah.
the universe aligned.
Yes,
So
I've seen that so many times.
Yeah, and I was able to show my mom things in Australia that that tourists don't usually get to know about because
you had an inside-
I had inside connections. So I did that immediately after, and then he was back in California to pack up his house, and we moved into our house, and then in November we went on our honeymoon for 2 glorious weeks to
Where'd you go?
Egypt and Greece and Turkey.
I saw pictures in the book of that.
Yeah, and so Egypt, Greece, Turkey, Crete.
Turkey, Istanbul,
yeah.
yeah.
There was one other place, but I can't remember where it was. But anyway, it was
you had
it was
2
great.
weeks.
We had 2
Cyprus.
weeks.
So that was
Cyprus.
probably your first 2 weeks in this whole relationship where you two were alone together for that length of time?
Yeah,
Wow.
and not working.
And that worked.
Yeah, and not planning where the next, how to unpack and pack for the
And
next
get to the
thing.
next
Yeah,
place.
it
You guys
really
are really
was.
good packers.
Oh yeah,
He's the best, and after almost 20 years, I am absolutely still the worst. I hate it. I procrastinate until the 9th hour. I take way too much stuff because what woman doesn't
You
want to
gotta
have
have a choice.
options,
Yeah,
right? And then when I get home, I hate unpacking.
Me too.
I
just leave my
can't-
suitcase laying there and work out of it.
Exactly.
That's what I do. Yes.
Oh
I
yeah,
never unpack.
it's insane. It's if there's any part of the road that I really don't like, it's packing and unpacking. And now I have to say, with the bus that we have now, we have a bedroom in the back.
Yeah, you told me that.
And so
Can't you just keep it
it
packed?
can keep stuff
Yeah.
on the bus.
That would be a lot easier.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I keep toiletries on the bus. I keep toiletries
Then you got to have 2 sets.
at our house. Well, I have to have 3 because I keep them at our place with my mom in Nashville, and then obviously at our home here in Florida. So,
Yeah.
but listen, just that alone has made my life so much easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So we got to go to commercial here. And
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to talk about your book and life on
Awesome.
the road, and maybe you'll sing a little more for us
Maybe.
later. All right. Maybe you'll sing us out later. Okay. All right. Back in a couple minutes.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this
Dr.
station.
Candace Colella of Colella Cosmetic Dentistry in Coconut Creek provides family and cosmetic dentistry for patients of all ages and is the only dentist in South Florida offering Solea laser dentistry. No pain, no anesthesia, no shots. With over 23 years of experience, Dr. Colella does fast braces, dental implants, veneers, and more. She can even finish off your smile with Botox, fillers, and lip augmentation. Call 954-428-6923 or visit yoursensationalsmile.com.
You've been listening to and watching The Becky and Boca Show. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge in downtown Boca Raton does fabulous professional makeup application. Make an appointment today and see how glamorous you can look. Call 561-409-4065 to book your appointment. Ivy Lee's Luxe Makeup and Beauty Lounge is located at 233 South Federal Highway on the first floor of the Boca Grand Building in Boca Raton. The number again is 561-409-4065. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the second half of the Becky and Boca Show. I have 2 lovely guests tonight. I have Rhonda Nelson and Wayne Nelson. Rhonda is an author, and Wayne is the lead singer of Little River Band. And we talked about their meeting and their marriage the first half of the show. And now we're going to talk about Rhonda's book. It's called A Different Life. And it's all about life on the road, right, Rhonda?
It is.
With a major rock band.
With a major rock band, yeah. And it's got a little twist, too.
There's recipes in here.
There are. So this was interesting when I decided to do this. And I'm laying it out, and I turned our house into like a memory box. There were pictures everywhere.
Yes, you have pictures from your childhood in here.
Oh, there was
Wayne's childhood.
Yeah, there was so much stuff. Ticket stubs. I save one ticket stub from every LRB show. So
you have the ticket stub from the one you met at?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and and the jeans, of course.
And I have the jeans.
About that.
Have the airline ticket that I had to go down to New Orleans.
See him.
We have the room key from the room.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, we're not.
They're probably
rats.
still looking for that key.
This is another romantic thing. There are actually 2 rooms.
That's right.
632 and 623. Yeah.
Oh, what, you were going to be polite and have 2 rooms? You just met her. Okay.
Yes.
I was polite. I wasn't going to be. I was. I got her her own room. So.
Yeah.
And how'd that work out?
It worked out great. We had 2 rooms.
Here we are.
We made it.
But what I found when I was doing this project was that there was a common thread in a lot of what we've done and experienced and projects we've been involved in. And oddly enough, it was food. But it kind of clicked with me because the 2 universal languages are music and food.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows music. Even if they don't know the language, you're still kind of, moving to it. And food, who doesn't like food? So that's how the recipes got in there.
There are recipes in this book. Great recipes.
I wholeheartedly admit, though, they are not most of them are not calorie friendly.
Oh, no, there's Brussels sprouts in here.
Brussels sprouts are, Brussels sprouts, the soup. There's a few.
Grilled salmon, you can make healthy out of that.
Well, Wayne, are you a vegetarian?
I'm a fishitarian.
Fishitarian, okay.
Red meat, I gave it up like 1975.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, because it just... A guy turned me on to the fact that that's probably what wasn't agreeing with me, and he was absolutely right. But so I've never looked back on that. And I still love making steak for people. I love the smell of it and whatever. And
But you don't eat it.
I don't eat it. But she'll get a good one at a restaurant. She'll make me a little sliver.
Have a little taste.
And then I'll beg for another one. Well, one night she gave me 2, and I was up at 3 in the morning, like in pain. So that's over with now. No more slivers.
No more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we, I've often said that those recipes that either aren't gluten free or that are not quite as healthy, because I'm a Southern girl, so the Southern recipes are pretty loaded with fat. Fat is our friend sometimes, in moderation,
right?
Like everything. But I'm threatening to revamp those recipes and make them a little healthier, and maybe put that out in digital format or something.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, to, in today's world, there's so much different things that people are allergic to or their bodies can't tolerate or whatever. So I think it would be a fun thing to do.
Yes. You have red velvet cake in here.
Yes.
Don't take that out. How are you going to make that healthy?
I don't know.
Don't bother.
Yeah, you would ruin it.
Well, you could use gluten-free flour it would take a lot of listen, if I had to predict how many times it would take to make it over and over to get it to be as moist as that particular cake is,
good.
I'll probably be 2 or 3 months on that alone. And there'll be a lot in the garbage.
Now, you introduced Wayne to red velvet
I
cake.
did.
I read that.
I did, yeah. So
that's always been my favorite.
Oh, absolutely my favorite cake. And my mother has always made that cake at Christmas time. I mean, that was just a staple at our house.
Yeah.
And so when
I'd never heard of it.
You'd never heard of it?
Never. No. And he grew
How's that possible?
He grew up in the Midwest. I would have at least thought it would have been a little spillover.
I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Illinois. You're from Illinois.
Well, yeah, whereabouts?
I'm from South Elgin, a little bit northwest of the city. You know
so
where St. Charles is?
You're a Fox River rat.
Yes, I am.
I went to school at Northern. At DeKalb.
Northern University?
Yeah,
Oh, I have a
and
nephew
the
there.
band I was in, the first original band that I joined in college, most of the guys came from Aurora. So we bounced all up and down the Fox River playing all those dives that you...
Gosh, I wonder if you ever played any place I was at.
Where...
I left there though a long time ago.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, so did you.
It's
I think
cold
that was
there.
a good move.
Yeah.
Have you been back?
Yeah, have you been back recently?
I go back now because my mother has a nice condo in St. Charles, and I know you have played in the little theater 2 blocks from my mother's condo.
Oh, wow.
Arcada Theater. The Arcada.
Yeah.
We've been there, and we've
Arcada.
actually gone to watch a couple shows there too. Yeah, what a small world. Well,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, and that's a nice little theater, very, very old.
Well, but back to the red velvet cake. Well, I grew up in Illinois, but my mom could burn water. I mean, she.
I read that too.
Oh, she was awful. She made a Sunday meatloaf that I was in distress for 2 days from. So I don't know anything about any red velvet cake. I'm 50 years old, and
So for the first time, at 50 years old, you had red velvet cake.
Oh, it was a
Did you like it,
revelation.
Wayne?
Oh, I love it.
Isn't it great?
He loved it.
Then
He
she
loved
made it at home, and I'm like, oh, this is
Well,
this might
and the
work
first
out
one he had, bless his heart, was at a casino. So
yeah, I read that.
it was like
And it was still good?
It was still good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they have red velvet cupcakes at Publix. Those are really
Those
good.
are really good.
With a
Yeah.
cream frosting. Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
And at the macaroon store, I just had a red velvet macaroon.
in Meister Park?
Yeah,
They have them there too?
Yeah, they have red velvet
I'm gonna
macaroons,
red
and
velvet
those are
my way around.
gluten free. So,
Oh, they are?
Hey, for gluten free people,
You hear that, everybody?
go get your
Get
red
macaroon
velvet.
in Meister Park.
Warning:
Uh-oh.
it will turn your mouth red, though.
Red velvet macaroon was like it's got coconut in it. Is that what a macaroon does, or what makes it a
Yeah,
macaroon?
no. This is why he doesn't get in the kitchen. It's a little cookie
cake
thingy
thing with, like, frosting
with,
over it.
with like a filling in the middle.
Sounds great.
So they have red velvet
They have a red
macaroons.
velvet macaroon. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to try
Yeah,
it.
just don't eat it when you're going to be on air.
Yeah.
You'll have red everywhere.
That's funny.
We were at this event that Wayne did a couple of years ago. The band Orleans was the backing band and Wayne did LRB songs and other artists did their songs. Orleans backed them. And when we walked into the room, they had, it was at the Hard Rock up in Orlando, and they had this amazing tray of chocolates. It was a baby grand piano and all these little chocolate like coins with the logo for the event on it. And I pick one up and I'm eating it. And I went, oh, because my fingers were the color of your dress. Because of all the heavy food coloring that they used.
Wow.
And I looked in the mirror and I realized that my mouth looked like that. And in 20 minutes, we were supposed to be at the first event. That was great fun. You're like manically brushing your teeth,
Trying to get it off.
swishing. Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun on the road.
Yeah, but no, I think you told me that you didn't tour with him initially.
No, I
In
didn't.
the beginning. So you would stay home
I
while
did.
he was on the road?
I would stay home because originally, like you said, when we first met, I was running my father's business, and so that required me to be home. And we had a family tragedy, which is what caused me to take over and run my father's business. And my mother really needed me, and so I didn't stay out on the road. Plus, we had 2 rescue dogs, and
Well, at that time, we were going out for 2 to 3, sometimes 6 weeks at a time.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So if
They
there was a
toured-
couple of days off, we would bounce back,
back
and
and
forth.
forth,
But it was
okay.
a whole different touring situation than it is now, because we had people in the band we still had people in the band that lived in Australia, not just were Australians, but their homes
Oh,
were there.
so they came over here for...
Yeah,
okay.
for
For
a set
long
amount of
periods
time.
of time.
Their flights were booked. They went back. Then they came back again. So it was even a more different life then than it is now.
and
Do you
then
prefer being on the road with him than...
I do. You know, so many things have happened through the years. That business that I was running, we sold, and we ended up buying a historic inn in North
I saw
Carolina.
that. Add one more thing to
One
their
more thing.
interesting
Yes.
lives. So you own an historic inn.
Yeah,
And you run it?
yeah.
We used to.
We used
don't
to.
anymore.
We don't anymore. We had it for 2 years, and we sold it.
Yeah, why'd you sell
If
it?
that tells you anything. See, that's my next book. Why not to buy an inn?
I
If
wouldn't even...
you want to own a B&B, ask
which I would
me.
not.
There are a lot of people, though. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll occasionally at the shows, after the shows, the guys go out and sign, take pictures. We meet people. And there's occasionally people will say, oh, my God, I just really want to own a bed and breakfast. Let me have 15 minutes of your time. I could probably sum it up in 5 minutes if you're in a hurry. But, yeah, so we did that for 2 years.
So for 2 years, he's touring.
Yep.
You're trying to run this bed and
Yep,
breakfast.
20 rooms, 23 acres, 3 wedding gardens, a restaurant, and an event facility.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the grand plan was that it would cut back on the touring and that her mom could come with us and we would all live on property, run it. She would meet guests with a flute of champagne at 5 o'clock and talk to them on the porch.
That sounds very nice.
Never happened in 2 years, not once, not once.
Yeah. I never left the upstairs office. I went in at 8 in the morning and I went home at midnight. I mean, yeah, it's, and you know what? Here's the thing. When someone doesn't show up, be it the dishwasher, be it the housekeeper, whomever it is,
You're doing
guess
their
who
job.
does it?
That's your job.
Wow.
Yep,
So
you do it.
I mean, that is a huge portion because it was an attempt to pull away from the road, not leave it, not quit, but just kind of get choosy and pull away and have something that we could, that was ours and that we could all share
Run
in
together.
management, work together. They knew housing, I knew entertainment. It was, and it was murder. And I had to go on the road more because when we hit a down season, then there needed to be cash flow to pay for the so it was like book shows. Thank you very much.
A little backwards.
Yeah, and so I was carrying the books with me, and she was running the grounds, the hotel, the weddings, booking all the weddings and doing tastings and
Some weekends we
and the
do
restaurant.
3 and 4 weddings.
Like some bridezillas. Huh?
Oh yeah, we would do 3 and 4 weddings a weekend. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Saturdays, almost consistently from April through October, we would do 2, sometimes 3 on a Saturday. Would do Sunday weddings.
3 weddings going on the same property.
In the same...
one in the pavilion, one in the large garden, and then
one in the smaller garden
in the house.
Wow.
And when I tell you, here's what I will say. Here are the positives about it. We gathered through trial and error an amazing staff. And a chef and some people in the kitchen that were really, really awesome. And that made it bearable. We learned a lot of things. I developed more of my cooking and that. Our love of wine really started to blossom as we learned things from our distributors and whatnot. So those are the great things about it. And when those bride and grooms would leave and the smiles on their face and their parents were happy, and that was really awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the really cool part about it. But when you are there and the building is 150 years old and there's an ice storm and the power has gone out and you've got an inn full of guests and the generator won't start and the pipes are freezing, that's when it kind of sucks. Just to be pretty brutal, brutally honest.
I'm going to brag on her a little bit. So we buy the inn in August, and when we got there, the menu, she called me in absolute tears. We closed and I left to go to a show. So she has her first meal there, and just what have we done? This food is glug. It's just it's horrible. So she transformed the menu. Number one, we turned it into a fish fusion, fish steak kind of a place. Number one. Number two, there were 18 rooms full of
country clutter.
I mean, it was just bad quilts and pictures of old farmers and stuff like it.
So
you redid all the decor?
She turned the following season when we opened in April, it was a Ralph Lauren.
I did every room in a different, because there's a country inn up in the mountains, and so I did every room in a different Ralph Lauren.
As she transformed that, and then the gardens, and created a swan pond and blah blah blah, and then got this staff together. By the end of the first year, everybody's going, holy cow, look at Woodfield Inn. It is like a destination place. And then for the second winter in a row, we got slammed by an ice storm every Thursday. Every Thursday for 3 months, they came through like clockwork, and everybody stayed home. So we just kept getting beat up. But what she did,
it was the sign. That was 2002, 2003, 2004. So the economy was doing some funky
we
things
went to war too. So
yeah.
it didn't help
So,
anything to go
but we look. We were fortunate. We made some great friends. Some friends that we still go back to the town.
I was going to ask, do you go back to the resort? Do you stay there?
No, because so we sold the inn. That owner let it go into foreclosure.
Oh, okay.
Someone bought it out of foreclosure, and honestly, when I drove up the driveway, I couldn't do it.
No?
It's not even.
Not even
Not
close.
the same.
No.
It's been
And
let go.
it's been it has not seen love and tenderness for a very long time. So it's really very sad. But like I said, we did make some great friends. We learned a lot, and we had some amazing experiences there. So you know what, you go out of it, and
you learn.
and you learn.
Yeah.
So
All in the book.
Yep.
yes,
That's
it is.
the book.
Where can people get this book?
You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it
A
at
Different Life.
Yep.
Rhonda Nelson.
And you can also get it at my website, which is Rhonda Raves, RAVES.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful book. Great pictures in here, too. We have a little bit of time left. I want you to tell us what it's like on the road with your husband in that big. There's pictures of
the bus.
bus in here.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun. You know what? Having been around all these guys now for so long.
Now, are they all on the bus with you?
Yep. We
Okay.
all, and which is a very unique, that is not the norm for other bands and
Yeah.
whatever. But listen, the crew, we're all a family. It doesn't mean that when we are off the road that we want to spend, more time, because we're all very different personalities. And those guys have kids and wives that have other careers and whatever. But we consider one another a family. And without those crew guys, their shows wouldn't happen. So to me, we all get along, and we all hang out on the bus together, and it can be grueling. I mean, there are times when we won't be doing it now thanks to the DOT, but we would do sometimes runs that you were on the bus for 14, 15 hours to get to the next destination.
But it looks like a comfortable bus.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's got a TV, everybody's got their own air vents, and there's kitchens and bathrooms and whatnot. So, but what's really cool now, what we do is in between shows, we have our driver Earl take us to wherever a few months ago we spent time in Napa in between two runs of shows.
Nice.
And so we get to see a lot of America that way and enjoy it, and it's really fun.
It really is, and we rent by the year because you can't.
Oh, so you've got it year round, so you might as well use
lease
it.
it year round, and
absolutely.
so if it's sitting still and the driver, it's all paid for. It's why have it sit still? So we take it and use it. We did a 2-week trip through Canyon Country, Utah, Arizona.
Oh, that must have been beautiful.
Oh, it was
amazing.
stunning. And you
Spent
pull up
Thanksgiving in Albuquerque.
Where do you stay? You stay in like state parks and
Well, sometimes we sleep on the
No, we stay on the bus because everything it's like a rolling home.
Right, but I'm asking where do they let you park that
so we go to RV resorts, and I've really scoped out. I know where all the and I judge them based on their bathrooms.
I would too.
So I know where all the good ones are. For instance, we got to spend time down in New Orleans and did the jazz festival.
Oh,
and
fun.
there's 3 blocks.
5-minute walk off of the French Quarter is one of the best RV
One of the
parks.
best.
In the country.
It's amazing. The pool,
hot tub, sauna, separate
pools.
showers.
That sounds like fun.
It's amazing.
It's
and
really
you meet some
very
really
cool.
great people there too, and they've all got this common thread of, getting down the road together. So it's kind of a grown-up camping.
Yeah,
It's cool.
well, and it's weird because
Glamping, though.
Glamping
yeah,
is what
it
they
is
call it,
glamping
yeah.
because you pull into these RV resorts.
Yeah, you're the big shot with that. How long is that bus?
Bus and trailer are 65 feet. But here's the thing: you pull into those RV resorts, and there are those other people's rigs. I'm like walking around looking. These rigs are $500,000, $1 million rigs, and I'm like,
Yours doesn't have the sides that move out.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the slides that go
Oh,
in.
yeah. It's nice and wide.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So and sometimes we get to take our little pup with, and if it's not
you got
too
the
long,
animals. Well, that
and,
must make it hard to be on the road. You have how many dogs do you have?
We only have one.
Oh, okay.
And
he can go along, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And unless it's a really grueling trip, or I know that we're going to be super, super busy doing book stuff and LRB shows and whatever, we don't take him. But he can go with.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You do a little show where you do a book signing, right?
We do. We did a 2-week run again this past
Is
December.
there one coming up?
Yes. It's I believe it's April 14th at the Lighthouse Point Yacht Club.
Oh, right here.
Right down the road.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
So
You
I
know
know
about that?
apparently he doesn't remember.
I'm about to practice.
You're just going to bring your guitar with. You'll be
right.
fine.
Yeah, I guess.
But when you guys were talking about Illinois in December, we went back to Chillicothe.
We went back to. I grew up in Rome, Illinois, down near
Yeah, I know where that
Peoria.
is.
We
Yeah.
went to
So
Chillicothe.
we went back to that town where I went to high school.
Oh, wow. And you hadn't been back there?
I hadn't been back in 40, 50 years.
Oh, what was that like? Scary?
No, actually it was amazing, because I'm sure you knew people in high school that you thought, these people aren't going to live another 2 years. They're living it hard. They're gonna die somewhere.
Right.
2 of them that I was sure were going to be either in jail or dead were upstanding citizens of the community and came out of the woodwork, and they were like, "Good to see you again." I said, "Wow, you're alive. That's
You're
crazy."
alive.
It was so. I was dreading it for the fact of going back to do that in front of those people that.
So you did one of these shows there?
We did.
We did.
So people that went to high school with you came out to see your
Oh,
show?
the
Absolutely.
theater
Well,
was
that
packed.
sounds like that would be fun.
Well, and there's the theater where I was with someone else. I got my first kiss in the back row of that theater.
Oh, boy. I hope you kissed Rhonda then in the same seat.
I did.
We did.
I actually did.
We
I took her back
actually
to the
did.
seat and made it go full circle. But they took me out to the lobby, and so it was just a trip to see the place where I bought the popcorn, and there was the girls.
yeah.
But anyway, they said, "Look up," and I looked up, and there was from that town a guy named Josh Taylor was on General Hospital, I believe, for many years. He became very famous. There was another author that was famous, and then there's a picture of me in
And
the
there's
tile
me.
of the
in the ceiling tiles.
So cool.
the town theater in Chillicothe, Illinois.
That is so cool.
It was pretty amazing.
It was fun though. It was
fun.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a really fun night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. So yeah, we do these tours. You know,
Lighthouse Point, what was it again?
I believe it's April 12th.
So if people want to go, how do they go to your website? Or is it,
You know what?
you don't know?
I have no idea.
It's like me. Okay.
I have no idea. Call
God.
call the yacht club
Call the
and
yacht
ask
club.
ask them about
Lighthouse
the
Point Yacht
women's
Club.
women's club and
Is it not private?
Oh, it might be a private show.
I don't really know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Possibly.
And you expect me to know this was coming? I mean, come on.
Someone said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I said, "Yeah, we'll do it."
And where are your upcoming concerts? I know you have some in Florida coming up.
Actually, we've got Epcot coming up next weekend. We're in Epcot for 4 days.
Oh, fun.
That's always fun because it's people passing by, and they go, "Whoa, I know those songs."
Oh,
And then
they hear the songs.
come in and
Yeah,
sing
that's
along.
all it takes.
A lot of people, yeah.
Wow.
We come back to the Tennessee Williams Theater in Key West.
Key West. That
2
sounds
nights
nice.
later.
Yeah.
And apparently that show is sold out. We just were talking to the guy on the way here, and so he's very excited
It's
to
just
have
before
you
Easter
down.
weekend, so
yeah.
that's
I'm
gonna be
sure
a
it is
crazy
sold
time
out.
down
Who wouldn't
there.
want to see Little River Band down in
In
Key
Key
West?
West.
Yeah. Have you been to Key West?
Yeah, a few times.
Wonderful
Yeah.
place, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we get about a week and a half off after those shows.
Yeah,
right?
then we go to Texas for a couple of nights,
Yeah.
and Biloxi and Baton Rouge,
Oh, nice areas.
leading
Yeah.
up to the April 14th show at the Lighthouse. I'm going to
Back
need
here
to
at
know
Lighthouse-
when I got to be
the
home.
Lighthouse Point.
I guess I better get some details on that.
Baton Rouge to Jupiter.
Lighthouse Point is
It's right down here.
It's just down the street, honey.
from Boca, right? By Deerfield Beach.
You'll be driving, right? Excellent. No problem.
It's like 5 miles from here.
I got a bus. I got a driver. I don't know about this driving to work.
So you got to do one in Boca sometime.
We
We'll
will.
Get all my people
we
there. That'd
will.
be fun. Yeah.
We really want to. It's kind of evolved. So the book's been out since December of 16.
Okay.
And in 16 we did a run of shows, and then sporadically throughout 17 we did, and then in December of 17 we did a run of shows. And the show has evolved. It's Wayne and 2 of the other guys from the band.
Yeah, I watched some on YouTube,
Yeah.
some videos about
So
it. It looks fantastic. So he does a little music, you talk about the book and your history and life on the road.
Yeah.
Sounds
so
wonderful.
And because I've been around those guys so long, the camaraderie, you just start bouncing things off of one another. And it's really, really a lot of fun. And what we've realized, we did much bigger venues this past December than we did the first December. Obviously, it was something new. And what everyone tells us is they love kind of the intimate feeling and the behind the scenes, getting to really know us,
to know what your lifestyle is
and
like.
we interact with the crowd too. We do Q&A, and we cut up with the crowd as well, and so we're having a blast doing it.
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
And we've even been able to make a couple of them some fundraisers as well, which is a thing we love to do. So it's a lot of fun. So we're really hoping to do one here.
Yeah,
I mean, for goodness sake,
let me know. I'll put it out
absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Wow, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoy.
Operators
talking
are
to you guys.
standing by. If anyone wants to book our book event, just call in.
So, is it a book signing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we sell the books, and we sign and take pictures and.
Sounds
with
wonderful.
People. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right,
really
let's
is.
do one in Boca sometime.
Absolutely,
I'll help you.
absolutely.
We'll
We'll make sure he knows what the date is.
We have to tell him.
Just take my hand and lead me there. What do I?
Okay, Rhonda Nelson and Wayne Nelson, I love this interview, and we got a couple minutes. Can you sing us out?
2 minutes?
Yeah, we got.
minutes.
Hold
All right,
on, we got 2 minutes. He says 1, but
1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Sit down. Take a look at yourself. Don't you want to be somebody? Someday somebody's gonna see inside. You have to face up. You can't run and hide. Have you heard about the lonesome loser? Beaten by the queen of hearts every time. Have you heard about the lonesome loser? He's a loser, but he still keeps on trying. Take it easy on me. It should be easy to see. I'm getting lost in the crowd. Hear me crying out loud. Just want you to know, I know that you have to go.
okay, we gotta go.
It's
Thank
all
you,
up to
Wayne.
you.
Thank you,
Whatever
Rhonda.
you do, take it easy on me.
Oh, this has been my favorite. You have been watching and listening to The Becky and Boca Show. Tune in every Thursday night at 6 p.m. to discover all the ways to spoil yourself and have a good time in beautiful Boca Raton. See you next week.
The opinions expressed on the preceding